this is still calculation on motion. So look at the board. A bus driver moving at a velocity of 80 km/h suddenly sees a goat crossing the highway 30 meters ahead. He applies his brake very hard to a maximum retardation of 12 meters per second square. Calculate the distance traveled before stopping. Can he avoid hitting the goat? So let's quickly solve it to know whether he hit the goat and kill it, or he stops before hitting the goat. Let's use one of the motion equation which says v square equals to u square plus 2as. Okay, why this v is for the final velocity, u is initial velocity, then a is acceleration, then s is the distance. But in this case, we have retardation, which is acceleration in opposite. Retardation is acceleration in opposite. Therefore, since it is acceleration in opposite, I have explained it in my previous video, you can check. Since it's acceleration in opposite, we will use the minus sign, which is minus a. Okay, that minus sign shows that acceleration is opposite. That's the one we'll call the retardation. So we will now use minus a, that is retardation, as our acceleration in opposite. Now we will now have v square equals to u square plus 2. It won't be plus now because we will now have minus this. So minus times plus is now minus. We now have minus 2as. That is final velocity, initial velocity, retardation, which is acceleration in opposite, and distance. So from the question now, a bus driver moving at a velocity of 80 suddenly sees a goat crossing the highway 30 meters ahead of him. He now applies brake very hard to avoid killing the goat. He now applies the brake very hard to a maximum of retardation, which is 12, acceleration in opposite. So look at it. We now have this minus to be 12 meters per second square. Remember, 12 meters per second square, not 12 meters per second square. That is our acceleration. Now, then it also gives us final velocity, because the car is at the velocity of 80 kilometers per second. Okay, now suddenly sees this goat and apply brake very hard to the retardation of 12 meters per second square. That means the time he started applying brake now, is 80 kilometers per hour, which means it is the initial velocity the driver started applying the brake. So now this 80 kilometers per hour will now be the initial velocity. Now they started applying this brake, so the final velocity will now be the one is stopped. The time is stopped to avoid killing the goat. Okay, so our initial velocity now, which is our u, now will be 80 kilometers per hour. Now but our unit is in meter, so we will change this one to be meter. How do we change it? Let's change it to the meter. 80 kilometers per hour. I've shown how to convert. You can check my conversion unit. Let us change this 80 kilometer per hour to meter per second. Now, 1 kilometer is 1,000 meter. Now, one hour is 60 minutes. Then 1 minute is 60 seconds. So now hour cancel hour, kilometer cancel kilometer. Now it will remain meter. Then minutes cancel minutes. It will remain meter and the second. Unit is cancelled. All the units now are cancelled. Remaining only second. Now multiply out. We now multiply out. That means 80 times 100, 1,000 meter. All over, look at it, only 8 and others has gone, all over 60 times 60. When we multiply out, we will now have 80,000 all over 3,600, right? Okay, we are in order. So when we divide now, we will now have 22.22 meter per second. So we have now converted our initial velocity in meter per second, which is from 80 kilometer per 22.22 meter per second. Now let's go and solve now. So you know the car started from that 80 kilometer per hour, and I apply brake hard to the retardation of 12 meter per second square. Now he will stop now to avoid killing the goat, which means the final velocity when it stops now will be 0. Okay, so our final velocity is equals to 0, because when car stops the velocity is 0. So the final velocity at that moment is 0. Now we now start here. Now is our final velocity, which is 0 equals to initial velocity is 22.22 square minus 2 times 12 now times distance. We now check the distance, which is stops. If the distance is stops is up to 30 meter where the goat is, that means he's hit the goat. Or if the distance is more than 30 meters, that means he hit the goat and killed the goat. But if the distance is below the 30 where the goat is staying, that means the man did not hit the goat. So now this is our distance. Okay, now when we say 22.22 square, what is the value in our calculator? We now have 493.7284 minus 2 times 12 is 24s, which is our distance. Okay, in this, remember here is 0. Taking this to this side will, because I am trying to make s subject of formula, which is the distance we are looking for. So I will take s to this side, and when s crosses to this side, it will now be plus 24s, which is 493.7284. Now making s subject of formula, which is our distance, it will now be 493.7284 all over 24. When we divide by 24, we will now have 20.57 meter. Can you see now that the car stopped at the distance of 20.57 meter? So it's not up to 30 where the goat is. That means the driver did not keep the growth. Thank you so much. Subscribe in my channel. I have many things to give you, such as mathematics and physics. Please, all I beg you to hit your subscription button on my page, and also hit the notification bell for you to know when I post new something. Thank you for watching.